Israel R for $20 says, "Hello, Mr. H and panel. I apologize if this was already discussed. Do you guys think that Iger is fearful that KK will sue Disney if Iger fires her now, claiming something like he fired her because she was a woman?" Well, what is a woman? I guess
Can you
Israel
define a
probably,
woman? Well,
most
and that's the
pertinent
thing.
question.
She's like probably one of the last people they want to fire because I'm sure she'll go kicking and screaming louder than Victoria Alonso did. Remember her?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
there must be some reason why. Yeah, like why they haven't fired her. There has to be a reason
Well,
why.
there's a million and one probably. First of all, we got to remember she didn't get hired by Disney, so we have no idea what her contract is set up like. George set that
Yeah.
up, and I know he set some traps in there as far as like that's where people are like, oh, they're going to remake Star Wars. I'm like, I'm not so sure they can until he's dead.
Yeah.
Like I think they signed it. They in the part of the deal is that they can't remake or do anything to his movies at all.
Yeah, they can't touch the prequels or the original trilogy.
And I think that's true because otherwise you would think by at this point Disney would be like, well, F this, we need to make some quick money and just release the unaltered versions of the original films.
Which is what a lot of people want.
Can you imagine the media blitz that they could get behind with that and how many Blu-rays that would sell if you used to say now available for the first time in 4K Blu-ray, the original unaltered theatrical cuts of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And people would pay $120 for a box set of those.
I would pay 200.
I was gonna say most people pay $2. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jonas?
No, I'm there. Let me pre-order.
Right?
Disney's been shockingly cool on allowing a lot of those fan restorations to go on, and I appreciate.
I think that's because they can't do anything themselves. So what the hell's the point?
Yeah.
And really, there's not much they can do because why go after any of the fans? Because most people already own them, and as long as you own them, you can't do anything to them. They legally have the right to own a copy of those movies in any other form. It's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of a gray area, but you know, there's not much they can legally do if we own the movies.
Yeah. Well, I think with Indiana Jones being such a monumental failure, and the rumor always being that she was going to, you know, I mean, I'm pretty certain it's been out and out stated that she said she was going to be leaving after Indiana Jones. Like, surely she's got to go now. Surely. Like, no, surely. Anyone?
Well,
she's got a year left on her contract.
Yeah, her contract renegotiations that were supposed to occur next year, according to a source from WDW Pro, my close compatriot, says that they have been moved to this year as opposed to next year. So I don't know if that shaves time off. I don't know if that means we get an announcement sooner. They need something to move the needle before the end of the year, which I forget if their year ends at the end of September or the end of November. Anyways, they don't do a calendar year end of year, so they got to do something before the end of this year to move the stock price.
Well, it's not going to happen, though, is it? What do they have coming out? Haunted Mansion. That's it. That is literally
the Marvels.
Haunted Mansion, the Marvels, and Wish. I think the only way that families are gonna show up to Wish is if they put out some kind of guarantee that it won't have anything weird in it, and they're not going to do that.
So many parents out there are done with Disney to the point to where they could even say that, and they're like, I don't care. I'm not giving you guys my money anymore.
I think people have already said that, haven't they? At the end of the day. But again, like going back to the whole, like, it's so strange. Like Kathleen Kennedy, I think you're onto something there. Anyway, I think it was you, Tom, that said it. There must be something in her contract. You know, wasn't hired by Disney. There has to have been something in her contract that means she cannot be gotten rid of as easily as anyone else. Not that getting rid of people is easy, but I mean, you'd think it would be with the amount of fuck ups she's made. I think it'd be monumentally easily. But yeah, no. So there must be something in the contract.
And I mean, I don't know how true this is. I heard what saved her ass when it came to Star Wars, aside from whatever is in her contract that makes it ironclad, is that as long as those films of the sequel trilogy films grossed $1 billion each, that was the only thing they were expecting of her, I guess. And
that is apparently what made the contracts ironclad.
Yeah, like, that's what I was told.
Like that was like the one, because what we were told by Mikey Sutton when she was renewed was as follows. It was that those movies had made more than $1 billion, and that was the only requirement. And she had been able to leverage the success of The Mandalorian, even though she creatively had nothing to do with it. On the contrary, she was away. She was still able to say, "Oh, look, here's a success on Disney Plus. Now renew me."
Yeah.
But now, of course, now is the speculation. Like, for instance, everyone seems to be of the opinion that she will be allowed to serve out her current contract and then be allowed to retire with celebration and with dignity and get all kinds of lifetime achievement awards and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think there's actually a non-zero chance. So it's a tiny chance, but it's existent. A non-zero chance that she could end up actively being frog marched out the door.
Do go on.
And I don't know this, but this kind of, like, I have no source. No one is saying this. This is just me reading the tea leaves. But in about a month here, we have an investor call, like an investor meeting, an earnings call. This one is going to be the worst one for Bob Iger yet, because now he has nothing but loss. Now he has both the trades and the financial papers have now downgraded Disney shares. Variety is coming out and saying this is the new normal for Disney.
And Haunted Mansion will be out before that investment meeting. Investors call too.
And what's he going to say? Oh, we have full faith in Kathleen Kennedy and her plans for the future. Really? Really? You're going to come out and say that? Or you want to take some decisive action before that meeting? Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that if she were to be let go between now and that meeting, so that Bob Iger can give some kind of message of hope other than, well, we're fucked. Because really, what can he say right now? Oh, yeah, well, he can go out and he can tell the shareholders, well, you've all read the papers. You've all seen our share is being downgraded. You've seen what Variety thinks of our future. You know the Hulu situation. What can I say? It's all true. We're fucked. He can say that. Or he can say that, yeah, this is a crisis now, and mistakes have obviously been made. And now it's time to turn the ship around. I mean, Jonas, what say you to that? Reporter?
I'm over here racking my brain as to what they could do to raise the stock price. They have so few assets that aren't directly tied to Bob Iger's legacy.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. And Bob Iger's legacy is going down the drain as we speak.
He should not have come back because now his name is attached to his own failure. He could have blamed Chapek if he didn't come back.
They still keep trying to, though. They do keep trying.
They do try. And it's more and more ridiculous each time they do.
I'm trying to think. The only thing,
how many buy into that?
Yeah. The only thing they have that's large that doesn't have his name attached to it, he came in along with ESPN. I don't think they're going to sell ESPN, but there are people on the board right now that are pushing for that. The Third Point people are pushing for that. They have Hollywood Records that they could sell, and that doesn't have they would still have their Buena Vista stuff attached to it. There was this thing that was floated a while back that, oh, no, we're absolutely not selling Queen for minimum bids of at least $1 billion. We are absolutely not doing that if anyone wanted to put out an offer. Pixar, there's no reason for Pixar and Walt Disney Animation to stay as two separate studios. They fired the only person that made them successful ever since the end of the Disney Renaissance. John Lasseter is over at Skydance Animation, which has a deal with Apple. So Apple, who's barely interested in the movie business, is going to be eating their lunch if he maintains his quality level over there. And what we're hearing from test screenings is that it looks like it's a good family-friendly film that, again, focuses on family and not any of the weird stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Deadline's over here saying the same thing that Variety said about the the market share thing. By the way, Valiant Renegade sent me a text. He says, "Hi, Nate."
Yeah, he shot me. He shot me a DM on Twitter.
Yeah,
with the article as well.
I'm trying to see for the life of me what they can do here, and I think there's two things that need to happen. They need to name a replacement for Kathleen Kennedy, and they need to get her retirement secured.
Yeah.
Before they do that, and they need to name Bob Iger's replacement.
Market share, though, I don't think it would.
Well, I think they have to fix that before they try to bring someone else in to run the Disney company, because that CEO challenge is going to be a problem. And Bob Iger has said that he's not going to buy another company. Kevin Mayer, who was going to be one of the many people who was up for the CEO position, or rumored to be, he was the head of Hulu International, and then he left and he went to go run TikTok, and for some reason he got in the door there and decided to leave, and now he's working with another former Disney CEO heir to be named Tom Staggs. The two of them are co-CEOs of Candle, and they own Cocomelon, which is also trouncing Disney on streaming. Yeah. Among a bunch of other things. So if they can get Kevin Mayer to come back, I might have faith that this company can right the ship, and maybe shareholders will, Wall Street will view it the same way. I don't know. They have to fix so many problems here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to, are they? They're not going to.
No.